Hi friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, and for today's episode of Dramione fanfiction recommendation, we are doing secret relationship. Now, our lovebirds are just the embodiment of enemies to lovers here. We all know who they are, what they represent, and the company that they keep. And so there are a lot at stake here, and there are many more reasons for them to decide to keep their relationship secret. But thanks to the vast talent of the authors in our community, we get to see those reasons turning into amazing pieces of fan fiction for us to enjoy. And that's what we're talking about today. I'm going to recommend to you guys 4 longer pieces of work which feature secret relationship between Draco and Hermione, and then 7 pieces of one-shots. Now I will only go into more details on the longer pieces of work because, you know, the 7 one-shots are just a tiny bit of love that will get spoiled if I talk too much. And so let's get the video started for today. So the first novel-length secret relationship Dramione fanfiction, we have Trust and Lie by macxboyle. This story begins in the summer before their 6th year at Hogwarts, where Hermione unexpectedly saved Draco's life in a very sticky situation. So they had this opportunity to strike up a newfound friendship that later blossomed into something more. Now, Trust and Lie, if you have followed me for a long time, has been on my top Dramione list for a very long time, and I know for a fact that it will not go out. This story just have everything that you want to read in a Dramione fanfiction or a fanfiction in general. The plot line for this story is super original. The whole course of the war turns out in a way that cannot be more different from the canon. So if you are into wartime story but you don't want to read typical canon's details, this story is going to be perfect for you. The love, the moment, the details shared between Draco and Hermione are just mind-blowing in this story. They have such a way to say I love you without saying those words, and we have an amazing ensemble of supporting cast. Many of the supporting cast we have in this story are original characters from the author herself, so hats off to macxboyle for doing all that. This story is among the most beautifully written Dramione story that I have ever read, if not the most beautifully written Dramione story out there. I have never really paid much attention to the writing of Dramione fanfiction prior to Trust and Lie, but let me tell you, Trust and Lie just raised the bar so high, and after Trust and Lie I paid so much attention to like the quality of the writing. And this story, let me just tell you, it's just lyrical. This story just have many quotes that I write now into my journal, and I have already shared those quotes with you guys in many of my previous videos before. But I would say that Trust and Lie is just a story that started off my desire to annotate my fanfiction just because of how beautifully written it is. This is one of the bigger pieces of work, and if I were to do it all over again, I would take my time and savoring Trust and Lie bits by bits, because it's just so precious and it needs to be handled with such delicate care. If you have not read Trust and Lie yet and you're still here watching my video, I suggest that you exit out of here and go and read Trust and Lie right away. You can come back to the other recommendation later, or you cannot come back to my video at all, but make sure you read Trust and Lie by macxboyle. The next story in our novel-length Dramione secret relationship, we have Dramione and Battle Scar by Onyx and I'm. Now, you will know that this story is among the more circulated fic when it comes to Dramione fanfiction. It is well loved, well read, and well recommended by many people. But at the same time, you will know that many people will have negative opinions about this story as well. Let's talk about Onyx and I'm for a second here. I, to this day, still do not understand why people feel the need to come after fanfiction author and make their opinions heard, their nasty opinion heard, you know, on author's pieces of work. Now, we all know that these fiction authors do not gain anything, absolutely nothing in return for writing for us, except, you know, we get to enjoy their talent for free. So if you do not like a story, my opinion, you guys have already known before, just kindly exit out of it. There are many other stories for you to enjoy. You came into one story for free, now just exit it. It doesn't cost you anything if you didn't like the story, because we all know that people's tastes are different, and you may like the story that everybody hates, but you may not love the story that everybody does. So if you don't like the story, just move on to the next. There is absolutely no reason for you to come after a fanfiction author and let them know about your nasty opinions. And so I just hope that wherever Onyx and I'm is, whether she's writing or not, I hope that she's doing well. I hope that she feels happy and joyful. And that's all that I hope for all of my Dramione fanfiction authors out there, because we owe so much to you guys for giving us your talent absolutely free of charge. Now, going back to Dramione and Battle Scar, this is probably among the realest story, if not the realest story that you can find out there on Dramione fanfiction, that follow Draco and Hermione back to Hogwarts for their 8th year after the war. Now, Draco and Hermione, of course, find understanding and confinement in the other person, but they are teenagers here, and they just went through such tremendous event that is the war. So they are very bad at communication, at feeling, at emotions. So if what I just described to you is the type of thing that you enjoy, Dramione and Battlescar is the best option, is the best bet for you out there in this category of love for Draco and Hermione. Now, this story is very well written, very well developed, and the moment and the details between Draco and Hermione are amazing. Not amazingly good in the way that you're probably thinking about, but if you are looking for a good quality or great quality fanfiction to read, this is among the best options in the Hermione fandom. But you might have noticed that I have never talked about Dramione and Battlescar on my video before, and that is because to this day, no matter how many times I have read and reread this story, no matter how long it has been since I finished this story, I still do not know how to process my feelings and my emotions following this story. I would say is very special because it will always have a place in my heart and in my head. On one hand, there are moments and there are details in this story that I can recite, that, you know, I can still remember now talking to you guys. I can still picture or imagine these details in my head. But on the other hand, I'm a person who is very invested in Draco and Hermione healthy relationship. I love their love for each other, and I enjoy seeing them overcome, you know, all their hardship and coming together, making the other person better. And so with Dramione and Battlescar, we all know that if you have read this story, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it isn't a feel-good story, and until the very end, even though it was a happy ending, I do not know to this day if I want that happy ending for Draco and Hermione, just because of everything that they have been through. Yeah. Now, is the story good? It was amazing. Did it break my heart? Yeah, it was so painful. Did I come back to read it after I finished it? Yes, I came back for many times. I reread the story an unhealthy amount of time. I feel like the best way to describe this story is kind of like a night out drinking. You knew that it would probably make you feel like shit the next morning, but you still do it anyway because while you're doing it, it was so fun, it was so good, it feels amazing, and so you keep doing it. Now, am I persuading or dissuading you guys from reading this story? I don't know. The choice is yours. If you want to start reading this story, make sure you know every details around this story before you start. But if those, you know, synopsis or details has kind of captured your interest, go ahead and give it a shot. If it's get too much for you, you can just drop out of this story and go ahead and enjoy a new one. There's absolutely no need for you to finish a story that you don't enjoy. But if you know all of these things doesn't really capture your interest, maybe go ahead and read the next story over, because there's no need to go into it and, you know, hate everybody for it, right? That was a very long discussion on Dramione and Battlescar, but the next two recommendations that I'm going to give you guys kind of give off the same vibe, so bear with me here. The next story that we have in the novel-length dramatic secret relationship trope, we have Silencio by Akashathekitty. Now, this story is another 6-year story for you where Draco and Hermione has a very toxic relationship because they kind of use each other as a very unhealthy coping mechanism during that very transformative year of everybody's life, 6 years, right? So they're teenagers here, and they are also very bad at communication, very bad at feelings. If you don't like whatever I just described to you, go ahead and move on to the next story. But if those just capture your interest like no other, please go ahead and give the story a go, because if toxic relationship is your thing, these amazing stories are there for you. And like I say, we are in the secret relationship trope, and there are many reasons for them to keep their relationship secret, and so we are entering kind of like a gray area here. Does the story have amazing quality? Yes, it's really well written, well developed, and the details in here you will remember for a long time after you finish reading it. Did I have a good time with this story? Yes, I did. But for someone like me, like I say, I'm very invested in their happiness and in their joy. I love getting my heart broken by fanfiction authors, but you have to give me a happy ending at the end. You have to give me back something for all that pain that I went through. And you know, the story kind of, I don't know about that, kind of traumatized me forever. The next story is just give off the same vibe with Silencio. So if you love Silencio, you have to read this story, and that is On the Nature of Their Life by Ikorous. Again, this is a 6-year story where Draco and Hermione strike up a super toxic relationship because they once again use each other as kind of like a coping mechanism during 6 years. This story just have everything that I just described about Silencio. Was it an amazing quality piece of fanfiction? Yes, in every way possible. Did I have a good time with it? I did. until the end. And I have already explained it to you guys. I love getting my heart broken, but you guys have to give me something in return, and these stories don't. I know that they are amazing, and it's once again, it's me, not you. So if toxic relationship is your thing, go ahead and read all 3 of the stories: Bread Meat, Metal Scar, Silencio, and On the Nature of Daylight, because you will have an amazing reading month of your life with just these 3 works. They are amazing, and they are well known for a reason. Now that we are through with all the noveling fanfiction, let's talk about the one-shots. If you know me, you know that I live in this dramione fandom because of the one-shots. To me, like, one-shots are just great. They're short, they're a tiny bit of love that you can enjoy in one go, and I love reading a one-shot before I go to bed because I want to go to sleep grinning and smiling. So I'm going to read out to you guys 7 stories which feature Draco and Hermione in a secret relationship, whatever their reason is. The first one, Between Pages by Dark of the Moon. Dark of the Moon, I love you. If you guys have not read any work by Dark of the Moon, you are missing out. So start off with this one and then marathon through all of her other work, okay? The second one we have Can't Get Any Better Than This by Hidden Whisper, and this story has only like a little bit under 1500 words, so you can just breeze through this story and you will feel so swoon afterwards. The next one, Common Spaces, Empty Places by silencio. I do not have to say anything about silencio, you guys already know it's gonna be great. The fourth one, Forgot to Mention by Wet Pretzel, my one true secret relationship one shot. I come back to this and I just keep grinning. Make sure you read this before you go to bed. You will have a good dream and then you will thank me. Next, If Then by Sante, my favorite 60 one shot of all time, and you have to read it. You have to. I have no other words. Next, you have I Know by Never Too Sweet, and this is, if you have seen that behind the scene shot where Draco threw his wand to Harry, you know, in the courtyard after the final battle of Hogwarts. If you have ever wondered why they did not put it in the movie and you would want to know what happened after Draco do that, go ahead and read this story. It kind of sums up everything, and it has dramione in it, so why are you still here? Go ahead and read it. The next one, we have The One Time They Stay by Quiet the Sardonic, and I have already recommended this story in my series of vignette one shot before, and I don't know how to say anything more about series of vignette. You guys know that they're just absolutely fuel from my heart, and that is the end of our one shots and also the end of the video. So I hope you guys have a good time hanging out with me, and the pieces of work that I recommend in this story are amazing, and they're not short except the one shots, but go ahead and read them, okay? You will not regret any of the recommendation I put in this video, and I know that's kind of like tooting my own horn because those are stories that I recommend to you guys, but I hope that you guys have a good time, and I hope that the next video will be less unhinged than this one. See ya!